Welcome to part one of upgrading the Crye SPC and optimizing it for small people. My name is Zach. I'm a small person. I'm 5'5", 130 pounds soaking wet. So I want to tell you why I use this plate carrier. And as a small person, I recommend it for all your other short kings out there. So the Crye SPC is one of maybe 6 plate carriers on the market that I've ever found that are actually good for small people, or I would say sized properly for small people. SPC, JPC, Velocity Scarab, Agilite K19, and I want to say the Shellback Banshee, maybe like a couple others actually come in size small. All the other ones, Spirited Systems, Faro Concepts, can't think of any others right now. Shaw Concepts, sadly, they have a small medium, but I'm not going to count that. All of those come in medium at the smallest, so that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to tell you how we can make this guy work for you. This is a Crye structured plate carrier, SPC, and I have it built out to kind of meet my needs and also follow a couple of rules of mine. Number one rule is I wanted to get rid of Velcro in terms of donning and doffing. So the original Crye SPC cummerbund comes with a Velcro flap right here. I removed that by cutting it off. Yes, I just cut my plate carrier cummerbund. I know, crazy. And I Velcroed in these A&A Tactical tube adapters. After that, they have the male end that goes to the plate bag in the front under the placard, and the female end that goes onto the cummerbund. I did that for both sides. That way I can pick and choose where I want to come in and come out of. But if you do that, you're running around $80 worth of upgrades. The Crye cummerbund already comes in around $120, but it is structured with a little bit of T-rist inside, so I would recommend it. If you want to get around all that, go with the Axle Equinox cummerbund. There you go. Over here, we got this placard that also doesn't have any Velcro on the front for me to get to my magazines, and it is by Shaw Concepts. It's using elastic, and if you want to get rid of Velcro, you need elastic or Kydex, or the barrel and hatchet lizard tongue thing, which I kind of recommend, but I'll get into that later. Under that, it has a tourniquet pouch that goes with the placard, but it goes in with swift clip buckles. So on the top here, I have an axle placard adapter that uses the molly under this cool patch right here to take that placard. I also have that PTT right there. It goes into my headset, into my helmet, and then it also goes down into my radio on the back. I'll talk about that one in a minute, but let's go ahead and keep rotating it around right here. All right, so right here I have a spud pouch that adds 2 magazines to my inventory, but it does use Velcro, so it's probably not gonna be the first thing I use. This is gonna be something where once I get a pause in whatever training scenario I'm in or fantasy world combat, I can re-plus up these elastic pouches and then put the empty or close to empty ones back on the side where I don't wanna touch them anymore. The spud pouch also takes 545, 760 by 39, 760 by 51, a single mag pouch. And then it also takes things like radios, bangers, smoke. Imagine a couple other examples of small things that look like 2 magazines. And there you go. And as we get around here, we also have a Spirited Systems GP pouch. This GP pouch has a big old zipper that will carry your PVS 31s if you're cool, or your gloves and clear eye pro if you're broke like me. After that, it has a small pouch right here, which has my handy dandy paint can opener, and then also a USGI speed reload for those stripper clips, so I can quickly reload any magazines on the range because I am time effective. If you can be anything, be efficient. The paint can opener is great though for getting stuck rounds out of your chamber. So if you have something that is failing to extract, you can get it out with that paint can opener. It's really, really handy dandy, and it's only like 60 cents. So just go buy one for fuck's sake. All right, keep rotating around here. Getting into the back, we have my radio on my back because the pouch that it's in is a tactical tailor pouch for the PRC 152. It is not a 152A because it is a TRI PRC 152, a replica, if you didn't know that. So I don't recommend this pouch right here from Tactical Tailor. Get something that has some Tigris backing or Kydex backing. That way it doesn't flop around like this one does. So I put it in back so that way I can actually not have it flop around, because if I ran it on a cummerbund like I wanted to, it would be all over the place, and I don't like that. It might shake loose if I ran it on a cummerbund, so I didn't do that. The PTT goes up and over the left shoulder over to the front where you already saw it, but it also goes under my one wrap here that is for my core performance ice vents. Highly recommend those shoulder pads if you want to kind of distribute the weight a little bit better and help those hot spots out. Last thing on the back here is a hydration bladder. It really, I don't even know the product. I don't know who made it. I have no idea where it came from. Something just laying around, and it was in this weird gray color. I said, screw it, and I threw it on there because its only purpose was to cover up the white letters of my RMA plates. That's it. But it does serve some purposes as a GP pouch if I wanted to, so I can throw some whoobies in there, extra layer in there, whatever. If I want to throw snacks in there, there you go. If I want to throw bangers in there or some crazy stuff, if I'm in a team environment, there you go. So that's probably going to get replaced later on with the Core Performance IMS combo. I highly recommend that if you want hydration integrated with your plate carrier and you're using it around vehicles or think of a bunch of scenarios where something pushing on the back is not a good thing for a water bladder. All right, moving on here. After that, we got a IFAC from North American Rescue. It's on the far back and right side because that's where I ran it when I was in the military. Habits. And also it has everything I need in there for needle D, sucking chest wound, hemorrhage, all the steps of march, tourniquet, and whatever else in there that someone might want to plug me up with just to try to stop me from dying. So there you go. Next up, we got a shot timer. Pretty obvious. I work on a range, so there's a shot timer. And then lastly, we get back around to the front, and that kind of concludes the plate carrier. So overall, it does the job very well in terms of what I want it to do. Is it the best plate carrier? No. Is it the most comfortable plate carrier? Still no, sadly. But it gets out of the way of my war belt, and also it reduces all that noise and carries everything I need to on the range, so that way I can train other people, train myself, and also do civil defense fantasy world combat. Just imagine. So there you go, and later on I'll be releasing a part 2, kind of giving you an idea of how to make this better, but right now, there it is, and I highly recommend all those products except the tactile tailor pouch on the back end because that pouch sucks. Still, if you have any questions, just hit us up over at Aaron's Gun Cabinet, and we'll be happy to answer them.